diesel fuel, right, for heating oil. But again, those inventories are also low. So it says that there's probably availability. You can substitute, but when inventories are low, historically, that means a higher cost. And if that means for home heating, you're using diesel fuel, that puts upward pressure on trucking. It's diesel fuel, right? Because there's only so much being produced. And again, a global shortage, you can only produce so much domestically. You have to move these products. And these are the trends that we're watching right now. It's not a lack of refining capacity. It's that for distillates, for example, between January and the middle of this year, we saw a doubling of the amount that was getting exported because of this huge global shortage. So every refiner is producing as much diesel fuel as they can. Some of it's being pulled internationally as a result of this. And the knee-jerk reaction, New York State actively considering banning of refined product exports. We have the Biden administration also considering banning refined product exports. And in the very near term, it might have the desired impact. But my God, I mean, first you send a message to Europe and other places that they're completely on their own. Secondly, in terms of how we produce, if refiners have grown and invested to be able to have a viable business that meets international needs, as soon as you ban those exports, the supply almost immediately shrinks toward the domestic size of the market, which, again, means less supply, less investment, fewer jobs. It would be an economic disaster to go down that road. So we really do need to see cogent, thoughtful policies in this environment that again, the pulse of this is a supply side problem. It really comes from just having an abundance of crude oil that makes the prices in the U.S. relatively less than they are internationally. And again, when we have a cushion of inventories, the best example I can give you is in the third quarter, September 2019, there was a missile attack in Saudi Arabia that physically removed 5 million barrels per day, 5% of the U.S. market, or excuse me, the global market in terms of production. And you got an $8 price move within a handful of days and within a couple of weeks, no price change versus where it started. But this year with Russia, Ukraine, we saw 4 times more price impact with no physical disruption to markets. And why is that?
Yeah, why is that?
When you've got a tight market, it's exactly that. It's that if you don't have the domestic production and the inventories at historically high levels, you are subject to the vagaries of global geopolitics. And I can't tell you what will happen next. It could be more Russia-Ukraine. It could be nuclear scaremongering by North Korea. It could be China-Taiwan, piracy on the high seas, the Straits of Hormuz, or something as simple as just a hurricane coming through the Gulf Coast like last year that removes some capacity from the market. But in a tight market, that's what happens. You will get, historically, we've seen that kind of price volatility come with it. So that's the advantage of having domestic production, the infrastructure, be it pipeline, rail, or trucking to make it go. But that's the key to having cogent energy policy, really thinking through the value chain here, because our economic and energy security depend critically on it.
So I only have like a minute or so left, but can you tell our listeners what can the U.S. do to rebuild capacity to match demand? I mean, look in your crystal ball.
Well, our capacity really is there. I mean, we've got different kinds of refining between crude distillation, and then there are more complex processes to take that heavier oil that add another 5 million barrels per day. So we can be energy independent in that sense, and we are a net exporter of refined products and have been for many, many years. So the capacity is there. It's a question now of having the domestic production enabled through this Inflation Reduction Act that just got passed. And API, by the way, has, we call it the 10 and 22 policy proposals of things that the administration could do to help Americans at the pump. I'd encourage people to go to API.org and look at 10 and 22 because permitting reform, infrastructure, being able to move things and produce things domestically, have a renewed leasing program on federal lands. If I don't have 3 or 5 years worth of knowing where I can do my business, plan well sites, I can't invest in the infrastructure and everything that goes with that to make it happen. So energy policy really matters to supply decisions today, and we're seeing this play out in real time. We're seeing a shortage both, again, the demand outstripping the production when you take these strategic inventories out of play. And we've got to catch up, and it's really hard to catch up once you're behind the 8 ball on this. So again, the 10 and 22 policy proposals go everything through access to resources, permitting reform to enable infrastructure, through market reforms and making sure we can continue to use the refining technologies that we need to optimize fuels for Americans. So these are absolutely essential in this environment. They're essential to economic activity, and trucking is an important partner for the industry. It's an important partner for the entire economy, and cost-effective energy is what will make that happen.
Excellent. Thank you so much. And I am on your website, and please go to api.org and click on the 10 and 22, because there are 10 policies to unleash American energy and fuel recovery. Thank you, Dr. Dean Foreman, for being on the show. I need to get you back on again, because we still have other things we could talk about, like fuel tax holidays and things like that. So thank you for taking time out of your Saturday to be on the Women in Trucking Show. We're going to take a break. When we come back, we're going to talk about propane with Michael Stivila, who's president and CEO of Suburban Propane. Thank you again, Dr. Foreman, for being on the show. We'll be right back.
Thanks so much, Ellen. Really enjoyed it.
The world's most exciting soccer league is on SiriusXM FC.
The Premier League is back. This is what it's all about. This is brilliant.
The start of the season brings optimism.
They've written a new page in their glorious history.
And FC 157 is your place to react all season long.
You guys put more energy in entertaining us than he puts out for 5 minutes on that pitch. He's awful.
Don't miss a London derby when Chelsea host Tottenham. Coverage begins tomorrow morning at 11 Eastern on SiriusXM FC 157 and the SXM app.
Attention, this is an important message for anyone drowning in credit card debt or struggling just to make minimum payments. If you have $10,000 or more in credit card debt, personal loans, medical bills, or collection accounts, you may qualify for our debt restart program with no upfront costs. Call right now to see if you qualify. Call 800-396-1322. That's 800-396-1322 now. This program is designed to help you get out of debt in as little as 24 to 48 months while paying only a small portion of what you owe. If you're facing financial hardship and are falling behind or struggling to make minimum payments, bankruptcy is not the way out. Don't wait. Enroll now and there won't be any upfront costs or out-of-pocket expense. Start on your way to financial freedom. Let us help you with your credit card debt, personal loans, medical bills, or collection accounts now. Representatives are standing by to take your call. Don't wait. Call 800-396-1322. That's 800-396-1322 now. Paid for by MJR Media.
Stress. It never seems to end when you owe money to the IRS. What about the years of unfiled tax returns? Have you tried another tax service and gotten nowhere? Then you need Tax Alliance. Why? Years of being A+ rated with a Better Business Bureau with no consumer complaints sets them apart. Call 800-266-9220. That's 800-266-9220. Don't wait until the IRS attacks your wages, bank account, your home or pension, and even your Social Security check. Tax Alliance specializes in IRS tax relief programs, including the Fresh Start Initiative, which can finally free yourself from IRS debt. Their tax professionals can file returns, fight the IRS to substantially lower your IRS debt, or possibly even have it forgiven. If you owe the IRS $10,000 or more in back taxes, have unfiled tax returns, or have a payment plan and are still frustrated, call 800-266-9220. That's 800-266-9220.
Tax Alliance, your tax resolution solution.
Ew, Dad, why are toenails so ugly and yellow?
Hey, it's James, and if you're like me and suffer from toenail fungus, please pay close attention. Let's face it, toe fungus is embarrassing. I was afraid to take my socks off and hid my yellow and crumbly toes from everybody. But nail fungus isn't just a cosmetic problem. It can also be dangerous. Even a small spot can spread and get worse. But no matter what I tried,
we're gonna go.
Like
sorry, guys. I'm just getting some mods. See if it's gonna
then
work.
I discovered
you know
Crystal Flush, the new and different at-home treatment. This unique two-step system flushes out fungus at its source and reverses damaged nails. Finally, me and thousands of others are free from fungus, and you can be too. Call now, and for a limited time, you can try Crystal Flush risk-free for 30 days. Call 800-304-9540. That's 800-304-9540. Eliminate your toe fungus once and for all, guaranteed. Call now, 800-304-9540, or visit crystalflush.com. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
Road Dog Trucking Radio. 18 wheels. That's how we roll. Sirius XM 146.
You're listening to Road Dog Trucking Radio's Women in Trucking Show on Sirius XM. Now, please welcome back your host and the CEO of the Women in Trucking Association, Ellen Voya.
This week's Steering Toward Kindness is presented by Shell Rotella. More mileage, less maintenance. Shell Rotella for the long haul. Today we're talking about energy. We just talked about diesel prices. Now we're going to switch over to propane. My guest for this segment is Michael Stavala. He is the president and CEO of Suburban Propane Partners, LP, a member of Women in Trucking Association, a partner. They're a nationwide distributor of propane, fuel oil, and related products and services, as well as a marketer of natural gas and electricity. They're in the New York Stock Exchange, listed limited partnership. The ticker is SPH, and he's headquartered in Whippany. Did I say that right? Whippany, New Jersey?
Yes, that's right, Alan.
And Michael was honored by the New Jersey Biz on their Power Top 50 CEOs list in New Jersey by the editors for the second consecutive year. Congratulations. He serves on a number of boards, including Oberon Fuels and Independence Hydrogen. He's one of 40 members of the Global Industry Council of the World LPG Association. Partners LLP serves 1 million customers in 42 states. And Michael's been featured in multiple media outlets for his industry expertise and commitment for giving back to local communities. He's been on Fox Business News, CNBC, Cheddar TV, Bloomberg, Newsmax, Wall Street Journal, among others. What is Cheddar TV?
It's a very business focused TV for the millennial age investors.
Oh, awesome. Because I live in Wisconsin, so that just fits right in. So thank you. Thanks for being on the Women in Trucking Show on a Saturday. First of all, let's talk about Suburban Propane. I gave a little bit of a background, but 42 states, so pretty much most of the United States. Are you in Canada and Mexico as well, or just U.S.?
Just U.S., 42 U.S. states, and we're the third largest retail distributor of propane in the country. We're very proud of our history. We actually date back to 1928, and so in 2023 we'll be celebrating our 95th anniversary in business, which is one of the things that we're very proud of. We actually started as a family business. An entrepreneur in 1928 was trying to solve a problem for his wife, who they moved out to the suburbs, and she wanted to cook with gas, and they didn't have natural gas hookups. So he developed the whole concept of portable delivery of energy with propane.
You're kidding.
And it's real. And so the Suburban Propane heritage, really, we're proud that we effectively established the whole concept of the propane industry as an energy source for local communities. And today, we've grown from 1928 to today, where we're now in 42 states. We're serving 1 million customers, and we're one of the largest propane distributors in the country. So we're very, very proud of our roots and our history.
So how did you become the third largest retail propane marketer in the country?
Well, mostly through acquisitions over the years. Back in the 70s and 80s, we did a lot of acquisitions, and I joined the company about a little over 20 years ago in 2001, and since that time we've done 2 very large acquisitions. One in 2012, we're just celebrating our 10th anniversary of that deal. It was about a $1.8 billion acquisition of at the time, the third largest propane distributor, and we were the fourth. So really jump-started our size and our reach into 11 new states. So pretty much through acquisitions over the years is how we've grown to this size.
Well, and your customer service. I mean, I'm on your website, so you've got a lot of great. You even have an app. I mean, for people to use to order their products, right?
That's right. Yeah, I mean, we're a hyper local business. We're embedded in the local communities. We have 700 physical locations throughout the country, and the difference for Suburban Propane is we are proud of the fact that we are very much a part of the local communities that we serve. So one of the things that people don't really understand, and one of the questions I get all the time, is how much propane can you sell for barbecue cylinders? And what people don't understand is that propane itself is such a versatile product that is a major source of energy in so many different applications, whether it's in the residential setting for heating, cooking, hot water, clothes drying, pool heating, backup generators, you name it. It's a source of energy. It's about 5% of today's heating market. So, and then in commercial applications, we sell to restaurants and in the agricultural setting where it's used for poultry brooding, crop drying, and then we also distribute in the auto gas market. So there's bigger fleets that are now running on propane, believe it or not. So and propane itself is one of the cleanest sources of energy. It's a byproduct of natural gas processing and crude refining. So I know Dr. Foreman was on earlier, and he talked a lot about the diesel market and crude oil. Well, propane is a byproduct of that, and so a lot of what drives pricing in the crude markets, the way Dr. Foreman described, a lot of that is the same effect here for propane.
Interesting, and a lot more vehicles. And later in the show, when I have Mike Roth on from the North American Council of Freight Efficiency, they actually work a lot with trucking companies that are using alternative fuels. But I want to go back to the propane. So you see the little cylinders at every gas station here in Wisconsin. And by the way, I heat my home with propane and my fireplace, and I have a backup generator. And my power has gone out 3 times in the last few weeks, and so my generator runs on propane as well. So I'm a huge propane user and advocate. So propane is used for so many things, and you mentioned some of them. But I mean, people, I can't imagine anyone not using propane, especially if they have a gas grill, right?
Yeah, that's right. I mean, obviously a big part of the outdoor experience, for whether it's grilling or whether it's outdoor heating. What you found in the pandemic, when all the restaurants had to open up with outdoor dining, the propane became a huge source of heating to make that a comfortable setting. And so, propane is such a portable product, versatile, clean, that it can really be utilized in so many applications, and that's what gives it a lot of advantage over the other energy sources.
Interesting. Okay, so Suburban Propane, and I want to remind our listeners that I'm speaking with Michael Stavala. He's the president and CEO of Suburban Propane Partners LP. Lots of P's in there, and they're a partner of Women in Trucking Association as well. So what are the 3 brand pillars of Suburban Propane?
Yeah, so in 2019 we launched the 3 pillars of Suburban Propane, what we call the Suburban Propane Experience. And it's really compartmentalizes who we are as an organization. The first pillar is the Suburban Propane Commitment to Excellence. And really what that focuses on is our commitment to local communities to be the best in total value, to be focused on the highest standards for state safety, to ensure reliability and dependability in doing business with us. We're available 365 days a year, 24 hours a day. You can reach anybody, a live body, in our contact center. If there's a need for propane or there's an emergency, we can dispatch to any one of our locations throughout the country and get a driver or a service tech out to help our customers when they need us most. So that's our commitment to excellence. We have the fortunate knowledge of, or fortunate experiences being considered best-in-class operators in the markets we serve. We have one of the best operating models, and the best focus on safety. Safety-first culture is something that every employee takes to heart. So that's our commitment to excellence for our local communities and the customers that we serve. The second pillar is our Suburban Cares pillar, and that's all focused on our local communities and our employees. So it's Suburban Cares about our customers, our employees, and our local communities. So within that, it's a lot of our philanthropic efforts fall under Suburban Cares. So as an example, we're a national partner of the American Red Cross. We've been a partner with them since 2012. Every one of our bobtail trucks proudly displays the American Red Cross logo on the barrel. Our employees volunteer in blood drives throughout the country and really get a lot out of the relationship and the ability to volunteer their time to support local communities. And so the whole organization is very proud to be partnered with such a great brand in the American Red Cross. But beyond that, within Suburban Cares, it's all of our efforts to give back to local communities. You know, I mentioned that we are a local community-oriented company. So every one of our locations has anywhere from 15 to, say, 25 employees, and they are there to serve their customer base of anywhere from 5,000 to 30,000 customers in that community. And so a lot of the efforts that we do is to get embedded in the community and volunteer our time, whether it's as volunteer firefighters or members of the Boys and Girls Clubs, or just donating to special organizations that we choose each year, and our people really love to get involved in those activities.
And that's all over your website. I mean, your website shows all kinds. There's a picture of your truck with the American Red Cross logo on there. So your whole website really shows that you guys are very altruistic. And I want to go into the third pillar, but I only have a minute before the hard break. So let's start with that, and we might have to finish after the break.
Okay, yeah. So one last thing under Suburban Care. So maybe we'll pick up the Go Green pillar on the other end of the break. But the other thing that we're very proud of is our commitment to the military community. So we made a connection a long time ago that our military veterans are trained in all the aspects that drive a great career at Suburban Propane. And so we have many aspects of our commitment to military hiring that falls underneath Suburban Cares as well.
And that is, that makes so much sense. That's wonderful. All right, so we're going to take a quick break. I've got Michael Stavala. He is the president and CEO of Suburban Propane Partners, and we're talking about propane and energy. And Michael, when we come back after the break, I want you to talk about the sustainability efforts, and also on your website you've got a bridge to a greener future. So I want to talk about some of the beneficial aspects of propane. So we'll be right back. Don't go away. We'll be right back after these messages.
You're listening to Road Dog Trucking Radio. Radio for truckers.
This is Alabama out there driving coast to coast.
On Sirius XM 146.
Let me hear you say yeah! What up, this your man LL Cool J, and last Saturday, Timeless Hip Hop was on full display in Queens, New York. This weekend, go run it back. Hear live performances from me and my man Z-Trip, Ice Cube, Fat Joe, Scarface, Little Kim, and more. Rock the Bells Festival replay. You know what I'm saying? All weekend long.
We talking about the real hip-hop. We out here back in Queens.
Rock the Bells Radio. Don't call it a comeback. Channel 43, baby.
This is professional golfer Mark O'Meara. You've heard me talk about Celebrity Greens, the company that builds championship-level synthetic putting greens at the homes of amateurs and professional golfers all across North America. Celebrity Greens is known for their great design, the use of the best materials, and the amazingly high-quality installations. Their greens look great and perform like natural greens that I've played on my entire career. Now, Celebrity Greens is looking for additional sales and construction partners. If you're involved in the synthetic turf business, or a contractor looking to expand your business, or an entrepreneur, give Celebrity Greens a call today. They are currently expanding across North America, and they will be opening new markets soon. And if you're an avid golfer wanting the convenience and the beauty of a custom green or a beautiful low-maintenance lawn in your own backyard, you should call them too. Contact Celebrity Greens at 1-888-507-7960 or visit them online at celebritygreens.com. Celebrity Greens, redefining private golf all across North America. Visit them online at celebritygreens.com. Celebrity Greens,
Diabetes, high blood pressure, anxiety meds, everyone's
you kidding
on
me?
them. If you're a 50-year-old male, maybe a bit
Wow.
porky, and you may even have type 2
Okay.
diabetes, $1 million
Well, that was
of
weird.
term insurance may
Nope, I know
only
what I'm
cost you
doing.
about $200 a month.
I know
Call
what I gotta
Term
change,
Provider.
y'all. I'm gonna
Speak
have to
with
change
Big
something on
Lou
this.
at 800-244-0909. Big Lou will find a term life policy for you even if you have type 2 diabetes, are overweight, or have high blood pressure. Term Provider has helped thousands of people like you who think they can't afford term life insurance. To buy $1 million of affordable term life for you, all you need to do is call Big Lou at 800-244-0909. Lou will make sure the scales are tipped in your favor. Call 800-244-0909. Big Lou will answer your call and work to fit you into a term life policy that you can afford. Remember, Big Lou's like you. He's on meds too. Call 800-244-0909. 800-244-0909.
I'm meteorologist Ken Boone here at the Weather Channel with an Interstate Weather Update as we take a look at your north-south routes here heading through this Saturday night. We still have that area of disturbed weather in the northwestern Gulf of Mexico, producing a lot of showers and storms along the Texas and Louisiana coast. If you're traveling on 59 or 77 there from the Houston area down towards Corpus Christi, Brownsville, watch for heavy rain and gusty winds. 49 in and around the Houston area towards the Texas coast. Some showers and storms with some heavy rain. 45 showers and storms in southern Louisiana with heavy rain, gusty winds. 95 chance of storms in Florida. Once you get into Georgia, all the way up into the northeast, things look good. 75 showers and storms, heavy rain in lower Michigan, pushing down into Ohio. Dry weather on 75, Kentucky, Tennessee, Georgia. More showers and storms on 75 in Florida. Out west, chance of showers on 25 as you travel from New Mexico into Colorado. I'm Ken Boone with custom weather for drivers twice an hour on the Road Dog, Sirius XM 146, and now on the SXM app.
Now, Women in Trucking, with President and CEO of the Women in Trucking Association and your host, Ellen Voya.
Today's show is about energy and fuel, and my guest for this segment is Michael Stavala. He's the president and CEO of Suburban Propane Partners, LP, and we're talking about propane. And so, Michael, I'm on your website, and
if it works now, y'all, let's see if it works.
Propane that I
Great, works.
No, but one of the things that I mentioned to you during the break is that when I get my propane filled, they give me this brochure and say, if you smell something like rotten eggs, it's a leak. But that's not really the propane smell, right?
That's right. Propane is colorless and odorless. It has virtually no sulfur dioxide and no nitrous oxide. So that's what makes it one of the cleanest sources of energy. And so in order to ensure detection, there's a chemical called ethyl mercaptan that's added so that you can smell in the event that there is a release of some sort. And that's the rotten egg smell that is referred to there. But the relative to oil and some of the other more polluting fossil fuels, propane is a vapor. So if you actually do have a release, it's not going to affect the soil, the groundwater. It really will just evaporate into the atmosphere. And so, the third pillar of our Suburban Propane experience is our Go Green pillar, and that really has two tenets. First is advocacy, because we're in an ongoing energy transition in the country and globally to cleaner energy sources. There's a lot of focus on renewable energy, and when people hear or think about renewable energy, a lot of the focus tends to be on electricity, on wind and solar, but one of the things that we're advocating for is that propane, being a clean source of energy already with a very low carbon score, can be a bridge, if nothing else. But really, we believe it's a destination fuel. It's an energy source that should be part of the solution long term as the country and the world appropriately transitions to cleaner energy. And so, that's part of what we're trying to do is get in front of communities, consumers, legislators, regulators, and tell the story of propane. Because, if you think about the U.S., we're entirely a U.S. company. We buy 99.3%
it's a mod.
of our propane.
100%. It's a mod doing
locally.
this.
So it's
a mod.
domestic source.
So I know what I'm going to do.
very portable, very versatile, as we
mods.
talked about earlier, and all the different applications. And so there's no reason to, throw the baby out with the bathwater, if you will. Propane should find its place in the long-term solution of cleaner energy.
Well, right, and according to your website, propane emits 60 to 70% fewer smog-producing hydrocarbons. So, and it doesn't contaminate soil or groundwater, and it doesn't produce sulfur dioxide. So, that makes so much sense. And like you said, it's easily transportable. So let me kind of move into the transporting part of it. Tell us about your jobs. You've got how many locations? You're in 42 states, but did you say 700 locations?
Yes, 700 physical locations, and so, and I've mentioned the word hyperlocal a number of times, and so I know a lot of the audience tends to be long haul, over the road truckers, and what we like to distinguish ourselves is we're a very local business, and so. And we provide a great opportunity for our people.
Yeah, it's a mod
to be able to.
So I know I'm gonna have to take off a mod.
Get their route in the morning.
I know which one too.
Our bobtail trucks are. The barrel is typically holds about 2,400 to 3,500 gallons of propane. So you're going to get a tablet in the morning to go out and do your route, and typically you'll probably get anywhere from 8 to 15 routes to deliver propane, and you're delivering in the local community, and customers love to see our trucks pull up in their driveways, knowing that we're there to keep them safe and comfortable, and so we like to distinguish ourselves as a great place to work for a number of reasons, but one of them is the ability to serve the community, to be in your community, get home at night, and be part of a company that really has a very, very long history of safety first, and acknowledging that our people are our most important asset. That's one of our main mission statements, is that our people really are the driving force of who we are. They're the people that are out there in snow and tough conditions, making sure that their local communities can be safe and healthy and comfortable with the energy that they need.
And these are day cabs. These are day cabs, and these are mostly straight trucks, right?
That's right. That's right.
So, all right. So, do your pitch right now. You've got our listeners. Do your recruiting pitch, Michael. Why they should come and work for Suburban Propane.
Well, first of all, we're proud, Ellen, and I appreciate you welcoming on today to talk about this. We're proud to now be a member of Women in Trucking Association. I think you're doing a wonderful job just getting the word out to the trucking community, and we are very much committed to hiring more drivers. We're committed to increasing the percentage of female drivers in our community. Today we have only about 25 across the country, so we'd like to make that number quite larger. Couple of things that we're very, very proud of. One is our culture. We have a very family-oriented culture, and we have a very long tenure and treating them fairly, giving them good, fair benefits and wages.
Let's see if this works, guys.
And generally creating an environment that people want to be part of. Whether it's you want to volunteer your time, you want to grow your career. There's plenty of opportunities in this company to move up in the organization, and I would encourage anybody to go on our website at suburbanpropane.com and go to the careers tab, and there's a ton of information out there to describe just what a life in the day of a Suburban Propane employee really means. And I'm just blessed to be able to lead such great people, and I think that's what's made us successful for the last 95 years is really just our culture and our people's desire to want to serve, and service is at the core of our mission statement, is our mission statement is serve our customers, our people, and our communities with the highest standards for safety, ethical principles, and total value in everything we do. And that's what our people live by. So,
and that's very evident on your website. I mean, a lot of the things that the companies that you give to and support are on the website as well. So it's all about people, right?
It is. We're nothing without them. We're a service business. We're not a trucking business. We talk about being there to make sure that our customers have what they need when they need us most, and that's what drives our people. And I think it's just a great opportunity for folks. I look at my chief operating officer. He just celebrated his 35th year. He started as a driver. 35 years later, 25 years later, he became COO of the company. So,
wow.
There's lots of stories like that.
So I want to remind our listeners, I'm talking to Michael Stavala. He's the president and CEO of Suburban Propane Partners LP. You can find them at suburbanpropane.com, and they are hiring. So, but I in the last few minutes we have left, I would like to talk to you about pricing and what the propane pricing, the impact of inflation on pricing. Get out your crystal ball and tell us what our listeners can expect in regard to propane.
Yeah, so I think your last guest, Dr. Foreman, really covered the typical supply-demand dynamics very, very well as it relates to the crude markets. Propane pricing is very similar. It tracks a lot of the direction that crude oil pricing does. Some of the, just a few statistics. I mean, I'm not an economist like Dr. Foreman, so I'm not going to be able to quote all the statistics he was able to off the top of his head. But domestically, we produce about 2.4 million barrels of propane as a byproduct of other things per day. And so what drives a lot of the propane pricing is the typical supply-demand balance, and one of it is exports. And so we export on average 1 million to 1.2 million barrels a day of propane. So and a lot of that goes to Asia. So as Asian economies are improving and growing, there's going to be more demand for propane. That does tend to have an impact on domestic propane prices here.
I haven't even been able to get out
and so that
however
means
minutes
that
of this
we're
stream.
producing 2.4 million
37 minutes
day.
because this thing wants to act stupid with this.
And that leaves about 1.2 million here in the U.S. And that's about sufficient to meet the demand, but it's very seasonal, as you can imagine. So.
Right.
We're at this summer point where we typically build inventories as we get prepared for the heating season, which starts in October and lasts through March or April, depending on how cold it stays. But so we are struggling, as Dr. Foreman described in the crude oil. We're struggling to build the kind of propane inventory that you like to see at this time of year heading into the heating season. We're about 10% below the 5-year average for this time of year for domestic inventories. So that means that pricing is likely going to stay a bit elevated. Now, we've gotten relief in pricing just as crude oil prices have come down. Prices at the gas pump have come down a bit. We peaked at about $1.64 or so per gallon down in the trading hub in Mount Belvieu, Texas. That was